Telkom, with a market cap of 12.1 billion rand and a price earnings of 32, is a legacy fixed line telecommunications company which is expanding into mobile under the ATA brand. It has a core network and strong market position in the corporate data and home ADSL markets. It's recently suffered heavy losses from the sale of its Nigerian unit and write-downs at its broadband unit, iWayAfrica. Well, the news flow on Telkom has not been good. Where do we go with this one? Because it could just be the hottest opportunity in the South African equity space. Perhaps value managers even are missing something here.
Look, I've seen estimates apparently that the actual copper in Telkom's lines are worth as much as the market cap, or maybe even exceeding it at the moment, depending on the copper price. So obviously there is value in the company, if only in the copper in its lines. But that being said, Telkom's management has been incredibly gifted, one might say, in destroying value. And one has been seeing these things for years now. By some estimates, we're talking about something 35 billion plus of the actual what is left over after it was split over. The Vodacom has been destroyed by management or been dissipated from the company over the last few years. We've had the case of, as you mentioned, Nigeria. We had the case of also Telkom Media, let us not forget, in which $1 billion was spent and was given away eventually to the Chinese for what I can gather, nothing at the moment. We have ATA coming through right now, and from the history that Telkom has had in starting these new enterprises, I don't have much hope for it, except for Vodacom. We haven't seen much from Telkom in terms of innovation or progressing in new markets.
What about KT Corp and the transaction in the pipeline?
Look, when KT, which is Korea Telecom, the big Korean company, which is very successful and has a brilliant broadband business, one of the best countries for broadband in the world, South Korea, not North Korea.
Thanks for that qualification.
Share price was at 36 Rand a share, and they said, well, we're talking about a deal where they'll issue new shares for cash. Now it's at 23. So you can tell that things have not necessarily been going well operationally. I'm sure if a deal with KT is to be done, it's going to be done at a lower price. In other words, a better price for KT and less of a fantastic price from the perspective of the existing shareholders. I mean, Viv is right. That network is exceedingly valuable. But
more than 26 Rand a share. Surely this is the buy of the century.
The problem, of course, is that the management team and the business is just perceived to be a value destroyer. Because when the Telkom shed the Vodacom business, it got that big cash pile, it paid out half as a special dividend. Of the balance of the cash, they went and did this string of disastrous deals. The Nigerian thing just beggars belief. It really they totally overpaid for a business that almost became valueless almost the minute they put their hands on it. So,
has there been any accountability with regard to
no,
Telkom
because the CEO, who did that deal is long gone and disgraced, but they
probably received a huge payout.
Well, they did a deal to make him go away, just so that mutually there wouldn't be any more mudslinging. I'm afraid this is the kind of thing that can happen. The current management team, I don't think, is all that bad, and Pinky Moholi and her team, have got a good vision for what they want to do.
Do you think they can turn this company around? And I stand corrected, 23 Rand, not 26 Rand.
I think by far the better thing to do would be to sell it in its entirety to either MTN or Vodacom, which is what they looked at doing some years ago, but for some reason or another they could never consummate. And maybe regulatory and competition issues were the concern then, but I don't think they should be now.
What are your thoughts on this one, Viv?
Again, to bring it to my personal context here, I live in Randburg and I can't get a Telkom line in Randburg. That's how bad management is for this company. I mean, you think about it here. I'm not far out of the city, but you still can't get Telkom to actually get a line to your place, for such a long time.
Let's add a little more color to the story. Yes. How long have you been trying to get a phone line in Randburg?
Yes, and apparently the area, there's not enough nodes or whatever, and they can't get an ADSL line out there. But that's the issue with Telkom. The case is, in Africa, broadband usage is, obviously in demand right now. Every person that you see wants to have, a broadband line at home, etc. And yet we can't get these things out here just to the badly managed system that Telkom has at the moment. We have comparable rates for mobile data and for landline data, which is insane if you think about it. Most parts of the world, there's not even a competition. I mean, you have mobile, of course, but landline is by far cheaper. You get much more access, etc. In South Africa, you could probably have a reason to argue that the Haters package is comparable to an ADSL package in terms of competitiveness and pricing, etc. And that's the problem in South Africa. Telkom, because we had a monopoly, because its culture in terms of the company is so bad. I don't see, even if a change in management will be able to actually change that underlying structure of the company. 23
Rand. It must be offering value right now, hot or not?
Not hot for me, because unfortunately the next generation 4G LTE is going to be as fast as a fixed line, and then everybody's just going to give up.
I'm trying hard here. Hot or not on Telkom?
No, definitely not.